Hey you guys, it's Miss Bonnestock here. So today we're going to take notes on multiplying and dividing integers. What I really love about multiplying and dividing integers is that to me it's actually a lot easier than adding and subtracting. There's a lot less to think about and you can really just multiply and divide like normal. It'll be at the very end that we have to think about what the sign will be. So we're going to start with if the signs are the same. We're going to fill out the quick definition that's in your notes. It's really a rule, I shouldn't say definition. And then we will talk about what that means, what it means to have same signs. So the rule for same signs, the product or quotient, which real quickly, let's just do a quick reminder. Product is for multiplication, quotient is for division. The product or quotient of two integers with the same sign is positive. So if the signs are the same, you're going to have a positive answer no matter what. And we're going to do some examples so you understand what that means. So example A under 1. Remember, if there's no multiplication sign, like on this one, there's no dot, there's no times symbol, that still means multiplication because the numbers are touching and they're using parentheses to show that. So you're just going to think about this as 6 times 7. And everyone knows that that equals 42. And it's a positive 6 times a positive 7. They're both positives. Both signs are the same, so it's going to be a positive 42. If we go to B, we have negative 9 times negative 5. Well, 9 times 5 is 45. And it was a negative 9 times a negative 5. They're both negative. They're both the same. So it actually is going to be a positive 45 also. As weird as that sounds, because we're used to having, if you have this many negatives and this many negatives, you just have more negatives. But for multiplication and division, it's different. If the signs are the same, it's always positive. So if we look at letter C, negative 2 times negative 25. Well, 2 times 25 is 50, like quarters. 2 quarters is 50. And because it's a negative times a negative, they're both the same. They're both negative. It's going to be a positive 50. And then 3 times 8 we know is 24. And it's a positive times a positive. They're both the same, so it'll be a positive 24. Pause this video if you need to. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and scroll down to example 2. Now, there's two ways that it's formatted, and you can see that here with the division symbol and then with the fraction symbol. So this is very 7th grade-ish, and this is the way that we prefer to write it in the 7th grade. There's really not going to be any more of this division symbol. That's very elementary school. So just get used to seeing the fraction as meaning division. So if we start with the first one, which is 27 divided by 3, we know that that is 9. And because it's a positive divided by a positive, the signs are the same, it's going to be positive 9. Negative 55 divided by negative 5. Well, 55 divided by 5 is 11, and they're both negatives. Negative divided by negative is a positive 11. All right, moving on to letter C. We have 72 divided by 6, and anything, again, written as this fraction is division. 72 divided by 6 is going to be 12. Oh, let me select my pen. And that is a positive, again, divided by a positive, so that is a positive 12. Negative 24 divided by a negative 8 is going to be 3. So a negative 24 divided by a negative 8 is a 3. And again, it's positive because a negative and a negative are the same sign. So positive 3 it is. All right, again, pause this video if you need to. Otherwise, we are going to move forward into different signs. So when we talk about different signs, it's really just the opposite of what we were just talking about. We had same signs and we will have different signs. So if the product or quotient of two integers with different signs will always be a negative answer. And I bet without me even going over these other examples, you could probably do them by yourself. And if you want to, pause the video here, go do them, and then press play, and you can see if you get the answers correct. So we have a negative 4 times positive 9. 4 times 9 is going to be 36. And we have a negative times a positive. Those signs are different, so we need to mark it as a negative 36. A negative 3 times a positive 6 would be 18. And because it is a negative times a positive, those signs are different, and so it's going to be a negative 18. 5 times negative 12, 5 times 12 is 60. And because it is a positive 5 times a negative 12, again, those signs are different. One's positive, one's negative, so we're going to mark it as a negative 60. Last one for this example, number 3, is a negative 6 times a positive 7, that's 42. And it is a negative 6 times a positive 7. Those signs are different, so it'll be a negative 42. All right, we're going to move on to example 4 if you're ready. So again, we've got division, same thing as earlier. We've got the division symbol, which again is very elementary school. And then we've got the fraction symbol, which we like in middle school. All right, so 45 divided by negative 9. 45 divided by 9 is, 5. And then that's a positive divided by a negative. Those signs are different, so it's going to be a negative 5. Negative 42 divided by 7, that's going to be 6. One is negative, one is positive, so it's going to be a negative 6. The signs are different. 40 divided by negative 8 is going to be 5. And again, that is a positive divided by negative. The signs are different, so it'll be negative. And then negative 28 divided by positive 4, that is 7. And again, the signs are different. One is negative, one is positive. It is going to be a negative 7. All right, the last thing that's on my notes that's actually not in yours, and I recommend that you squeeze it in somewhere. You should have plenty of room on the side, is just this triangle right here. It's one of my favorite tricks for multiplying and dividing integers. And again, you can only use it for multiplying and dividing. It doesn't work for adding and subtracting. So for adding and subtracting, the trick that we like to use was the tug method. So you can stick to that tug method if you like. Again, this is for multiplying and dividing. So let me show you how to use it. So if you had a negative and a negative, we learned earlier that those signs are the same, so therefore your answer will be what's left over. It'll be a positive answer. So let's do another one. If you had a positive and a negative that you were multiplying and dividing, your answer would be negative because these signs are different, which means you would have a negative answer. You can also do it the other way. If you have one that is negative and one that is positive, again, those signs are different, which would result in a negative answer if you have different. Now, the question everyone always likes to ask is, how come you don't have a positive and a positive? Well, guys, if you think back to elementary school, a positive 4 times a positive 4, that's what you've always known. That's just 16. You shouldn't have to have a triangle to teach you that. So that's why it's not on the triangle. I hope you find this very helpful and ask all the questions that you may need to ask about this in our Zoom. See you later.